name is Scott Patterson, and I'm one of the division managers of the referee team at Twin Galaxies. I have found glitches to some extent in just about any video game I've ever played. The first real example of somebody figuring out sort of a glitch or an oversight would be the original Asteroids in 1979. People figured out that the level would never end if you left just a couple of the asteroids floating on the screen and places that you could stash your ship for a minute and blow away the enemy saucers that they show up for bonus points. For every 10 of those they would pick off, they'd get an extra ship. And there were people that played that game for numerous days in a row on a single quarter, because it gets to a point where they could even take a break and come back and the game is still playing itself because they haven't run out of lives yet. When the Asteroids programmers started finding out that players were doing this, they did put out some slight revisions, but it's kind of hard to really make a major change to a game, or at least it was back then, because nowadays you're just talking about content on some computer disk and hard drive. Back then you're talking about design of a whole specific motherboard. And they tried a couple of revisions during the production run, none of which worked. So instead, they designed a sequel called Asteroids Deluxe that was made incredibly difficult. That was kind of their way of trying to get payback. Probably the most famous one after the King of Kong would be the Donkey Kong kill screen. It's basically a level where, due to an oversight in the original programming, the gamer will get killed off after just a few moments and cannot continue past that level. The bonus timer tries to give you 10,400 points, but it can't hold that much information, so it reads that as only 400 points, which is basically 4 clicks of a timer before it kills you off for running out of time. If you try to run as fast as you can, bonus timer will just suddenly read 0. You're dead. Another one I would think of, classic arcade glitch, would be in the very difficult game Sinistar. Basically, you get a bunch of enemy ships trying to build a big, angry space station with a mouth.
I am Sinistar.
That likes to talk to you.
I hunger.
And trash talk you.
Run, coward.
And tries to eat you.
Run, run, run.
And it's a fun game. It's a very difficult game, but people figured out that if you can get hit by a bomb from one of the enemy ships at the same time that Sinistar eats you, regardless of how many lives you have, it'll kill you twice when that happens. But when you have 1 life left, one death takes you to 0. The next death actually takes you to -1, which the game does not recognize negative numbers. So it rolls that over to 255, the highest number that it knows in that category in its memory, and gives you 255 extra ships. And basically you can play it until you get bored with it at that point. The next one would be a unique one. This Pac-Man, once you get to the skill screen level, actually will give you any one of a random number of glitches. Sometimes it will reset the game, and you basically start over from there. Sometimes it will give you an invisible maze that has no walls, and the ghosts basically have a free run at you. And sometimes it'll give you 8 levels, sometimes it'll give you 1 level, sometimes it'll give you, just almost different random things that I don't even think we've seen every possible thing that could happen there yet. But inevitably, whatever happens at that point, the game is going to certainly end on one of those screens. Another one would probably be the classic Centipede. Not so much a pure glitch as it is another oversight that people figured out back in the day. As you get the Centipede whittled down, just one little head is coming down after you. There were players that figured out a good way to get like a combination of mushrooms built up on one side of the screen that would catch that piece of the Centipede and any other ones that it sent out at you to try and kill you off, and just basically trap them there so that they had free reign to hunt down the bonus point spider that would come out. And there were gamers that would rack up tens of millions of points by executing that trick and killing off the spiders. So much to the point where Twin Galaxies at one point in time actually had to outlaw use of that trick. There's always going to be discussion about glitches in video gaming because they're always going to exist. It's almost like a game within a game to not just figure out how to beat the game the way it was programmed, but how to even outsmart and fool the game in a way that it wasn't. We want it to be, the best contest of pure skill in playing the game, not glitching the game.